you asked him to help cut up the body. When he saw this, he got sick and threw up and told you he couldn't do it.
What do you know? Because I didn't hurt him.
We know you killed him.
You know you left him in the trailer. You cut him off.
No,
He's got trauma to the right side of his body.
How do you think I would have picked him up and put him
I
there?
didn't say you
Right,
picked
you said
him
you put him up. Never said that.
up. Never said once that you picked him up and put him up. Never once did I say that.
Detectives are often confronted with the unimaginable, forced to navigate the darkest corners of human behavior in pursuit of justice. Yet what happens when a suspect's confession unveils a tale so bizarre that it defies all conventional understanding of crime and motive? Such is the case Penny Pospisil, who confessed spending 120 days living intimately with the deceased body of her boyfriend. Penny Pospisil, Florida, December 30th, 2019. Penny Pospisil was arrested after authorities discovered a gruesome scene in her RV at Lake Pan RV Village in Sumter County, Florida. The RV had been the source of a horrific smell that plagued the neighborhood from July to December of 2018. When Penny left the camper, who found the dismembered remains of Anthony Mitchell decomposing in the washing area of the RV, the police quickly identified Penny as the primary suspect, and during her interrogation, they aimed to secure a confession to solidify their case. The detectives started by attempting to understand her recent activities and relationships. Penny initially maintained a facade of innocence, denying any knowledge of Anthony's whereabouts.
You're here, is that what you're saying?
I have no clue.
Okay. So you have a number where we can call somebody?
Not off the top of my head.
When's the last time you spoke to him?
Not sure.
Okay. You said he was your fiance,
Yes. Yes.
but you haven't stayed in contact.
No. No.
Why?
It was not a very good relationship.
You can tell me about it.
It was a verbally, mentally, physically. He liked young girls. Very young. 10, 12. The reason I found out that he wanted to go to Lake Pan was because he wanted to be ordained as a freaking preacher to have little kids at his disposal.
How did you find that?
He told me.
Before y'all moved to Minnesota, how long were y'all together?
Almost 4 years.
And there were any signs of that?
Yeah, a couple of times we were like in Walmart or Publix or something, and I pitched him looking at a young girl or something. I assumed that he was looking at them on.
Right. When you brought him down, you said it was in August. Did he
So
have
it was
his
in October.
October? Sorry. Did he have his phone with him?
Not assuming so.
Has he tried to contact you since then?
He texted a couple of times, but I'm not responding.
However, she inadvertently referred to him in the past tense, suggesting subconscious awareness of his death. Penny tried to shift blame onto Anthony, claiming he had predatory tendencies towards young girls and implying he was a problematic individual. This tactic was meant to deflect suspicion from herself. However, the detectives noted inconsistencies in her story, such as her claim that Anthony had tried to contact her, which phone records would later disprove. The detectives were also interested in Penny's relationships, especially with her son Frank. They questioned her about her interactions with Frank, trying to determine if he might have been involved in the crime. Penny denied any involvement from Frank, insisting she was alone in the camper and that no one else had access to it. As the interrogation progressed, Penny's story became increasingly implausible.
Who are you living with now?
I'm staying with Kristen for now. I'm getting ready to go over to Morbid for a cancer center.
Who's Kristen?
And she's my son's baby mama.
Okay. Your son Frank?
Yeah.
How long were they together?
Years around a lot.
You say you wanted to do an office? How do you, what's,
I have stage 3 kidney and chronicles.
okay.
Frank been involved?
Off and on.
Where's he at right now?
West Virginia or Kentucky, I'm not sure. I know it's wrong building.
Is he working up there?
I'm sorry.
Is he working up there?
He was. I don't know if he is anymore.
Have you been up there to see him? And you have a daughter named Megan?
Yes.
She lives in Jacksonville.
Mhm.
And the last time you seen her?
Christmas.
Well, Frank is in Kentucky.
Okay.
He hasn't tried to reach out to you this week at all.
I have talked to him.
He got arrested right there.
For
Drug charges.
She claimed to have been alone in the RV, yet forensic evidence suggested otherwise. The detectives confronted her with the fact that Anthony's body had been found in the RV she occupied. Penny's responses remained evasive, and she continually denied any wrongdoing, even when faced with irrefutable evidence. At one point, Penny asked for a lawyer, sensing that the interrogation was not going in her favor.
Penny, why do you think we're here to talk to you?
I'm trying to figure that out.
You really don't have any idea.
No, I don't.
Because according to you, you lived in Lake Ann until around October. And then you drove Frank to Vero Beach.
I didn't drive Frank to your lunch.
And you haven't spoken to Anthony since October. Because he's gone to see his family.
The detectives, recognizing they were losing their chance for a confession, employed a different tactic. They appealed to Penny's sense of victimhood, acknowledging her claims of abuse by Anthony. Throughout the interrogation, Penny's health issues were a recurring theme. She mentioned having cancer and Crohn's disease, possibly setting up a defense strategy for later.
That's not the story you've been telling other people. That's why I'm here.
I think we're going to say what?
Well, you told Anthony's family that he was dead.
He was dead.
So, figuratively, he was dead.
And when I just asked you, show you a picture of Anthony, you said, yes, that was Anthony.
It was. It was the picture that he had. It was on his driver's license.
It's not his.
No, because it's also on my license. He had, what do you call it? Gastric bypass.
When did you have that done?
February or March.
What was that?
It was national.
Didn't he have a surgery done in the early 90s or mid-90s on his back?
That I don't know. I know he had surgery on his bypass. I don't know when. That wasn't my own.
Who did he talk to most about?
Since Kyle came up and said he was on his way.
You close to Kyle?
I'm very close to Kyle. I saw him this morning. So
you didn't tell Kyle that Anthony was dead?
Her shifting diagnoses suggested she was preparing to use her health as a mitigating factor if the situation worsened. The detectives pressed Penny on her story about Anthony's death. They showed her a picture of the RV and asked her to describe it. Penny denied any knowledge of the camper's interior, even though it was clear she had lived there. Her denials became more strained as the evidence against her mounted. One of the most critical moments in the interrogation came when the detectives mentioned Frank's statements. Frank had told them that he saw the inside of the RV and described it in detail, suggesting he had been inside while Anthony's remains were still there.
I told him we broke up that as far as I was concerned, yes.
You didn't tell him you had to go to the hospital when you were sick?
He OD'd on my morphine dose.
Who did? Tony did? What happened to that? Is he her problem?
He did. I don't know if he still has me.
Which hospital did you go to for that?
Indiana.
You remember the park manager like that or something?
They did.
You weren't close with park manager? Betty?
Betty and I can't think of his name.
Gary?
Who?
Gary?
You.
That was her husband, wasn't
Pretty close with Betty.
it? Wasn't close, but yeah, you
As
were.
close as you can be.
Yeah.
Was Frank with you in Lake Council?
No,
No. So Betty never met Frank? Gary never met Frank?
I mean,
Were you with anybody else in Lake Council? Nobody else was with you while you were in Lake Council?
Frank has only been in that camper once. And that's when he helped us with him.
Okay. Did Anthony stay with you in Lake Council?
Yes.
Okay. Was Betty and Gary close to you?
Yeah. He was actually in the workroom under the table.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to that?
He never went around to it.
Never got around to working or never got around? What do you mean never got around to it?
He never got around to working it
Why not?
because he didn't stay long enough.
Because you took him to Bureau in October. And you left to see his home.
Yes.
And you stayed in that RV trailer in the
Yes.
and no one else stayed in.
Frank go in the trailer with you in Brooklyn Park? Did he ever stay with you?
Not at all.
Or you never visited the trailer,
He was there. The only time that he was there was when he helped with me.
which was in Missouri.
Yeah.
RV.
Yeah. When we bought the trailer, we realized.
We're talking about Brooklyn Park.
Yeah, Frank was never in the camper at the time.
Penny vehemently denied taking her son into the RV with a dead body, showing a rare moment of emotional honesty. This reaction indicated a deep sense of betrayal and confusion about why her son would implicate her. Penny Pospisil vehemently denied any involvement of her son, Frank, in the RV where Anthony Mitchell's dismembered remains were found.
You were going to make funeral arrangements. You never distributed what we could call maybe funeral memorial cards with Anthony's name on it in memory of. You never did that.
Mm-hmm.
You never purchased those and had them shipped to your residence in Lake County.
Mm-hmm. Was he okay?
So,
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at Anthony Franklin Mitchell
in your RV
in your
trailer.
RV trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You're not? What are you looking at? No? No?
That's your RV.
That's your RV and that's covered.
What is that?
She adamantly insisted that Frank had never set foot inside the trailer, except for one occasion when he visited, and she had no knowledge of Anthony's death until law enforcement intervened. Detectives pressed Penny about her knowledge and actions, confronting her with the evidence found in the RV linked directly to her and Anthony. Despite her initial denials and attempts to portray innocence, the detectives were persistent in uncovering the truth. When confronted with the fact that Frank had described the interior of the RV in detail to authorities, Penny's demeanor shifted. This revelation seemed to catch her off guard, marking a pivotal moment in the interrogation.
He's actually dead. I think you guys need to put questioning me and give me a little.
Is it your request right now to like lawyer?
Because I didn't hurt him, you know, I left
I
him.
need to make sure I understand what you're saying. Yes, he is dead. Is he? Are you requesting the lawyer? Or do you want to continue talking?
I'd like to know your side of the story that happened. You've already said that he was arrested.
Yes, yes.
So, if there's more to the story, we would like to know. So, there's always two sides to the story. But if you want a lawyer, then that's fine. And we'll stop talking to you right now.
He wanted to share him.
Okay.
literally.
Where at?
With other men or women?
Both.
So he,
Like Penny?
Like Pam, Vera.
so he wanted an open relationship.
Yeah.
But he just wanted to share you.
Tony was eating.
Okay.
Eating. Oh, eat. Okay.
So he wants to watch me with other guys and wanted me to watch her have with other girls, which I've never done. And that wasn't open to that. I would never do it.
She struggled to explain why Frank would have such detailed knowledge unless he had indeed been inside the RV under circumstances she was reluctant to admit. The detective's line of questioning shifted to understanding Penny's relationship with Anthony and the events leading up to his death. They probed her about possible motives, suggesting scenarios where a conflict could have escalated into a fatal encounter. They hypothesized scenarios of self-defense or accidental death, urging Penny to disclose what had truly transpired. Penny continued to deflect and deny direct involvement in Anthony's death.
Do you remember the people that lived next to you in Wilton Park?
Yeah, so
The first one, when you first moved in.
there was a homeless guy on the right hand side.
You guys been friends with Frank?
The pothead.
I'm not sure. It was the guy Frank became friends with in the park. He said Frank's was at the trailer with you on a regular basis.
No.
Frank even told us himself that he was in the trailer with you.
Yeah, he came up there one time, I told you.
No,
Yeah,
he was
this year.
inside the trailer with you.
When? At Rick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
No. I'm sorry, he wasn't. He was never at with him with me. Never.
So you describe the trailer to us.
And he should be able to.
The incident.
Like I said, he should be able to. He helped us in the room.
That picture that I
Sure,
showed you?
picture, you should be able to describe that.
Picture
Yeah, the picture I showed you?
of the outside of the camper? Yes.
That?
He described that to us too.
No.
Yes, he did.
Why he said, well,
No, he did.
you don't believe he described it to us?
No, because it wasn't there and it's not my camper. No.
It wasn't there and it's not your camper.
No. And Frank was never in that camper besides the one time.
This is your camper. This is Anthony or Tony. Okay? And the reason we know that is because he had surgery on his back and had an instrument in his trunk that we were able to identify. Okay? And that's Tony. Okay?
Let's tell you, the little camper.
Are those your shoes right there? Nike shoes? But that is Tony. Yes, it is.
In your camper.
I'm promising. I'm not bullshit. That's Tony. How did this happen?
That I don't know. It's not my camper. That's not him.
She maintained her innocence despite mounting evidence and Frank's statements implicating her more directly. The detectives employed psychological tactics, including appeals to Penny's emotions and attempts to highlight inconsistencies in her accounts. As the interrogation progressed, Penny's facade began to crack. She became visibly distressed, grappling with the weight of the evidence and the seriousness of the accusations against her.
So it's not your camper.
Not like that, no.
Yeah, that's your camper. That's him in your camper.
Hey, there's always two sides to a story. You said that was he harming you when this happened?
That didn't happen in my camper.
Listen, it happened.
No, they didn't.
This don't
If
just,
I would have
this don't
wanted
magically
him,
happen
If I would have wanted Tony dead, I would have went and burned to death in the fire and barrel.
You told Frank that you burned the trailer down.
Well, obviously I didn't.
Well, I know that, but why did Frank say this? Why would Frank say this stuff about you? He's your own son. So why would he say this stuff? Did he have something to do with this?
You sure?
Yes.
I didn't have anything to do with it at all.
No.
Why is he telling us all this stuff about?
Why is he telling me what?
That he saw this inside your trailer, that you took him inside to look at that.
That I took my 23 or 24-year-old son inside my camper with supposedly a dead body in it.
That's not supposed to.
It's dead. There's no supposed to do it. It's dead.
He's dead.
He's gone.
There was
Somebody
toast.
that I loved, I would do that to.
I'm just asking why he would say that to you. Why would he say that to us?
I don't know.
Is there a problem between you and him?
No.
Are y'all close?
Usually, until we started with the drugs.
How long has he been on drugs?
Off and on for a couple of years.
The detectives pushed harder, challenging her with details about purchases made after Anthony's alleged death, including supplies potentially used to conceal or dispose of his remains. The mention of a credit card opened in Anthony's name after his death seemed to particularly unsettle Penny. It undercut her claims of innocence and painted a disturbing picture of her actions following his demise. The detectives strategically used these revelations to undermine Penny's credibility and push her closer to confessing.
We found this after the Melbourne Police Department found your trailer, went to your trailer in Woodland Park on the 29th of December. Because you didn't pay the rent anymore.
At Wickham?
And you would do a payment.
I don't think so.
And that's what happened. That's why the Melbourne Police Department went to your Bighorn RV that's registered to Anthony, and inside found that. And you were nowhere to be found. Where were you December 29th?
I was probably on my way to Kentucky at that point in time.
And you haven't thought once about going to check on your camper?
No, I said the party they could have it.
Who'd you tell that to?
The park ranger.
Male, female?
No.
You remember his
Not
name?
phone or in person?
No.
So you just gave up a $20,000-$30,000 camper?
No, I gave it up because it wasn't in my name and he never showed any interest in doing it.
Because he's dead.
How did this happen? Tell me your side of the story, because without your side of the story, listen to me, okay? Let's hear me out, okay? You've got this inside a trailer. This body has been cut up, okay? Cut in half. At the pelvis area, it was cut in half.
Arms removed.
Arms cut off. Those toes are full of fat and tissue of Anthony. Okay? The trailer is only owned by you and Anthony. You telling us you stayed in this trailer all the way up until December.
Yes.
Okay? He's been dead since August. Inside the trailer since August. How did this happen? Help yourself, because hear me out, you're sick, okay? And right now, with all of this inside a trailer, and all the stories that you have provided to a bunch of different people. It's hard. It's very, very hard when something happens and you forget that you have. You ever heard the story about crying wolf? Okay. When you tell so many different stories, it's hard to remember everything that you said. A lie starts like this, and it keeps growing and growing and growing, right?
Comes back to bite you in the ass.
Okay, well, Penny, I'm here to tell you that the lies that you've been living is here to bite. And you need to come clean with what happened so that you don't look like an animal, the person that destroyed and a cold-blooded killer that would do this to Anthony.
Despite the mounting pressure, Penny remained defiant. She refused to admit guilt or provide a coherent explanation for the forensic evidence linking her to the crime scene. The detectives persisted, emphasizing the gravity of the situation and urging Penny to consider the consequences of her continued denial.
What happened inside that trailer?
I would never have hurt him.
Then what happened? What happened? What happened to him?
I don't know.
You told Frank that he choked you and you stabbed him.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. You told Frank you killed him. Frank was in the trailer.
No, he was not.
He saw that. He described that to us. We didn't show him these pictures.
Yeah.
He described exactly what's there.
And guess what else he said?
Right?
He also told us that you told him if he doesn't help you clean up the body, that you were going to pin it on him.
Bullshit.
Well, why would he say this?
Bullshit that you would do that, or bullshit that he said?
Both.
No, he said it.
He said it. He told us that Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to him Monday.
Okay.
So, why?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
I don't even know what this is.
That's Anthony
Franklin Mitchell. Dead in your RV.
You know as well as I know what this is and what happened in that trailer. I need you to tell me what happened.
You want me to say that I killed him? No, I didn't.
I want to know how we got him there.
I don't know.
Did he choke you out too much and you hit him or something happened? Self-defense?
No.
Did he die in the trailer of natural causes and you got scared and didn't know what to do?
No.
So how did we get to this point?
Good question.
Because you told me already that you dropped him off
And Vera.
in October.
Yes.
And Vera.
He
Well, it
wasn't
was
there.
evidently before him because when I moved the trailer in September.
In a final attempt to break through Penny's defenses, the detectives appealed to her sense of responsibility and humanity. They implored her to come clean, emphasizing the importance of closure for Anthony's family and the community. They painted a picture of a remorseful individual who could still redeem herself by telling the truth. Penny's motives became the focal point of the detectives' interrogation strategy. They carefully probed her, attempting to decode her behaviors and narratives like the pages of a well-worn book.
September 22nd was the last time anybody ever talked to
August 22nd. August 22nd was the last time. He said September.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
August.
August 22nd, what?
Right.
It's the last time anybody other than you spoke or seen anything alive. And that person was his son, Kyle, who talked to him on the phone.
Okay.
Since August 22nd, there's been no other contact with any family members, nothing.
So you're saying that I lived with his dead carcass in my camper
I'm asking you.
August to December?
I'm asking you because I don't understand what transpired here. What transpired? Do you remember purchasing those shears at the Ace Hardware in Alwood?
You know,
Cheers.
You know,
In the east, hardware where?
in Morbid, which is just north of Lake
Yeah,
Tennessee.
because there was tree branches up above the camper.
Okay.
What about that?
Yeah, it was a knife for filling fish.
Okay.
What did you use that one for?
It's a cutting knife for meat.
Okay. You went to purchasing all those items.
Mhm.
What's the material on these items?
Gloves.
What?
I don't know.
You want to tell you what it is? It's Anthony's disease.
Anthony's on that.
That's his hair right there on him. This one was in all of that. That was in your sink in the bathroom. Along with a circular saw.
What do you mean a circular saw?
Well,
You don't know the circular saw?
you didn't purchase one?
Never mind.
What about the hatchet? You never buy that hatchet?
No, because there were tree branches and stuff. But I wasn't.
Do you remember when you bought this stuff? All the purchases for these tools started August 25th. 3 days after the last contact with Anthony. And in that conversation, Anthony, on the 22nd, with his son Kyle, he was still alive and making himself with you. 3 days later, you're buying all of his stuff.
And adding yourself to this credit card.
Yeah, we did it. And now I did add myself to it.
Let me ask you all this. November, 2 months ago, there was a credit card opened in Anthony's name, Capital Credit Card.
In November?
And then you were put on as a user card from November.
I don't think it was November, but okay.
No, it was November. He was already dead.
Each revelation from Penny unfolded another layer of her complex persona, revealing not just her actions, but the twisted logic she employed to justify them. She began with tales of her abusive childhood, intending perhaps to evoke sympathy or paint herself as a victim once more. Yet, the detectives saw through this tactic, recognizing it as yet another attempt to manipulate the narrative in her favor. They tried to steer the conversation towards understanding her perspective, subtly hinting at the possibility that she acted out of self-defense or necessity.
Just tell us how we got from Anthony upsetting you, fighting with you, wanting to leash you off to people, wanting to touch little girls. Your dad. Was it some sort of argument? You told your son that it was an argument. You told your son that he was trying to strangle.
He did several times.
And you
Okay,
defended
did
yourself
you
by
stab
killing.
him?
No, I did not.
And why does Frank say you did?
I don't know.
Frank's not going to lie for you.
I don't expect my son to lie for me.
He's not gonna lie about. Why would he lie about me?
Why would he try to intentionally get you in trouble if that's what you're
He
saying?
never would.
Okay, so you told him this?
No, I never told him anything.
Where did he come up with that?
I don't know.
It's a pretty fantastic story for him to come up with.
He also tells us how the first time he came into the trailer, you told him to come in and look at this and ask him to, you asked him to help cut up the body. When he saw this, he got sick and threw up and told you he couldn't do it. So what really happened?
Alright, I'll tell you something about Frank.
Tell me, please, please. No. Help me understand what happened.
That I don't know.
Okay. Tell me something about Frank.
Frank was never at the camper except for the one time when he always moved.
Which
Second,
was when?
and when we purchased the vehicle.
Okay.
So he was never in the confined. Okay.
He, way back when, he told my sister, when he moved up there, that I literally poured hot oil on his back, okay? And of course you're going to know that that's on his scar. No, it didn't, because it never happened.
When did he say that happened?
That was when he was 16, 17 years old.
Well,
No, I would not.
Frank paints it different. Frank paints it pretty. He loves you.
And I love my son, very much so.
He loves you. He does say that you guys have had some problems in the past.
Such as?
I don't know exactly. I mean, he just said that y'all had some issues in the past, but y'all always seem to work through them. But he describes this in very good detail without us providing these pictures to him at all. We didn't show him these, like we're showing him. Okay.
However, Penny remained resolute in her defiance, refusing to yield to their attempts at empathy. "I would never want to try and sell one to somebody," Penny asserted, dodging the detective's accusations about her attempts to sell firearms, a stark contrast to her earlier stories about her aversion to guns due to past trauma. Her narrative weaving continued, unabashedly denying even the most glaring pieces of evidence stacked against her. Detectives confronted her with the grisly details found inside her trailer: tools, chemicals, and traces of decomposition, all pointing to a meticulously planned cover-up.
Something transpired. Either self-defense, and it was an accident, and you didn't know what to do, or something. Or you were just plain mad that he was trying to share you. You are the only person that can tell us what transpired. He can't tell us. He looks like that.
No, you hurt me down.
Okay.
No, I never.
I don't understand it, Gertrude. I understand that y'all have a very violent relationship. Okay? And that's hard to deal with. What happened the night that this death took place?
You don't remember?
I don't know.
Is it because you don't want to remember, or you're just blacked out? What happened then?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And honestly, I don't think that that's him.
It's him.
I promise you.
It's him.
We've taken now, it's taken a month to identify the body.
I'm really hurting. After everything that he had put me through,
You still wouldn't have heard it.
I still love him.
No one killed him.
And I don't believe that was my game plan because I love him.
Whether or not you believe that, that's your account. Okay? You can believe that the chair is trying to hold you up, it's still holding you up. That's your camping, and that's dead in your camp. That is indisputable.
Right now, all of this stuff being inside your camper, inside your closet where the camper in front, where your bed was, in that closet storage area was a couple of tapes that contained his flesh.
Why did you cut the flesh off of him?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't hurt him.
So who did that?
Nobody that I know of.
Nobody did.
Somebody
Because
did.
Anthony's dead. I have to show you again, that's Anthony. It's Anthony. And it's your trailer. And you have no explanation for anything. And you're just trying to avoid it.
I'm not avoiding
You
anything.
know as well as I do that something transpired between you and Anthony and it went too far.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did he point a gun at you? He owned several of them, and none of them are in the trailer now. Where are the guns?
He used to keep what he called puncher beside her. And
What was that?
357 Magnum. That was my 357 years inside.
We know for sure that there was 2 boxes of Rugers that were supposed to be in the house and they're not there. And we also had people in the park saying that you were trying to sell guns to that Wickham.
Wickham?
Yeah. People told us you were walking around trying to sell guns.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Again, this is what we're being told. I'm trying to get you to explain to me why all of this stuff is being said against you.
First of all, my dad used to play Russian roulette.
They detailed how she had systematically used Anthony's resources after his death, issuing credit cards in his name and siphoning off his Social Security benefits. Penny's attempts to deflect or deny these accusations grew increasingly feeble as the detectives methodically dismantled each layer of her deception. Amidst the mounting evidence, Penny's attempts to distance herself from the crime scene faltered.
Larry, remember him?
Yeah. The guy that owns the camper?
Yep. He says you were taking the guns and putting them in a storage unit.
What kind of freaking storage unit?
Again, there's all of these stories about what could have transpired, what possibly transpired, and it all leads back to you, and it's all against you. I'm trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what happened.
I didn't.
We know what happened.
What do you know? Because I didn't hurt him.
We know you killed him.
We know you left him in the trailer. You cut him off.
No,
He's
I didn't.
got trauma to the left side, to the right side of his body.
How do you think I would have picked him up and put him
I
there?
didn't say you
I
picked
didn't
him
say
up.
you put him up. Never said that.
Never said once that you picked him up and put him in there. Never once did I say that. He's got trauma to the right side of his body.
From what?
I don't know. Can't tell that because of, you see that? But inside, right next to his body, was a hammer
And a hatchet. And a crowbar.
and a shovel. Oh, and that
Oh, and a 3-foot piece of coax.
cable was underneath his body. The circular saw. All those knives that he showed you were all there. Oh, and that pink tote was
Yeah.
laying right next to the body too.
With part of him in it. The pink
And
that
inside
you
the
bought.
camper, every air duct is taped off. You have a air purifier in there that's been moved around a couple of times because there's stains in the carpet from where it was sitting from all the goo. And then all the chemicals, the
You spent almost $500-600 on air fresheners.
and chemicals. You were buying chemicals almost daily. The smell got bad. I'm sure it did.
Chemicals? What chemicals?
Air fresheners, chemicals, bleach, pine saw, gallons
Acid,
of it, acid.
uric acid. You had your son buy at Home Depot.
Yeah.
What was the
Why?
acid for?
Because I wanted to flush out the tank.
Acid.
Like I said, I didn't know anything about
You bought
this.
gallons, almost like
Oh,
a couple
just
times a week. You were buying
gallons
gallons
of tank
of
treatment.
septic treatment from the Walmart in Bushman.
But you were
But
never hooked up.
gallons.
Did I what?
But you weren't hooked up.
When they found your trailer, you weren't hooked up to the septic.
You told somebody he died of a heart attack. You told another person he died of pancreatic cancer. You told another person he died of a stroke. When
You can't even keep up
You
with
can't even remember how many different ways you said he died. You said he went to see his mother. He died up there.
Photos of Anthony's remains in the RV finally broke through her facade of indifference. For a fleeting moment, guilt seemed to flicker in her eyes as she turned away from the grotesque image. Yet even this glimpse of remorse was quickly buried under her steadfast denial. "You're telling me it's not your trailer?" the detective pressed, displaying a photo that unmistakably depicted Anthony's dismembered body. Penny persisted in denying any involvement, clinging to her false narratives despite the overwhelming proof staring her in the face.
On the 29th, when you got to Nova, did you and
The
Frank go,
29th of what?
September, did you and Frank go shopping?
I don't remember.
Did you go all together and buy cleaning supplies? And then go back to the trailer?
I don't remember what day it was that Frank and I went shopping.
And
I don't remember what day I actually came here.
to buy supplies. Whatever day it might be.
I don't
Do you
know.
remember the event?
No.
You don't remember going shopping with your son?
Not to buy cleaning supplies, no.
Well, like he told you, you spent a lot of money on cleaning supplies and materials. A lot.
And tools.
Between the tools, the materials, and the cleaning supplies, it was over $900 worth of materials bought from August 25th to the time we got to the trailer on the 29th of December. That's a lot of money. You're telling me you didn't have the money to keep the trailer.
No, I told you I didn't have to keep the trailer.
Because that was it.
Because that was
No.
I would want to keep it even.
no. You walk into the trailer, if you could mask the smell, it looks like a normal trailer until you walk up the stairs and see the stains on the steps up to the bedroom. The carpet is completely stained. It doesn't even look like carpet anymore.
Then you get to the bathroom where the towels were covered.
Well, they were
Holes.
lined up against the door.
And you open the
That's not
bathroom.
including the decomp smell. That's awful.
What?
The decomposition smell from his body. I'm just telling you, describing what's inside of your trailer.
That's what. You're saying that's not in your trailer.
You made it up, is that what you're saying?
I don't know, but I know when I lived it, it was in the trailer.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely was. Yes. That was in your trailer.
There was a tote that had Anthony's clothes in it. And a rag that had duct tape on it. And it had throw up on it. In the tote with his clothing.
Did he try to take your mouth shut? He didn't try to take your mouth shut?
You didn't have to sit on top of me.
You try to take his mouth shut?
When you look at this, what, besides you're telling me it's not your trailer, what does that make you think of?
I mean, it's,
I'm telling you that that's Anthony. The man you've spent 4 years with. That's the man that you fell in love with.
no, it's not.
This is the man that you fell in love with. That's his head. There's his arm moving around his head.
You're not even looking.
I won't.
Because that's him.
No,
That's
it's
his
not.
feet.
Yeah. He was cut in half and his feet were flipped around the other way.
This is a better and
Sir,
that's Anthony.
no, it's not.
The detectives persisted, methodically presenting the forensic and testimonial evidence against her. They highlighted inconsistencies in her stories, pointing out how she had spun multiple versions of Anthony's fate to different people, a desperate attempt to cover her tracks that only deepened her culpability. As the interrogation reached its climax, Penny's resolve began to crack. Realizing the futility of her lies, she finally invoked her right to legal counsel. The detectives, having meticulously built their case against her, were undeterred. They knew they had enough to proceed. After the trial, Penny was convicted on multiple charges. The judge sentenced her to life in prison for second-degree murder. Additionally, she received 15 consecutive sentences of 15 years each for abuse of a corpse and 5 years for grand theft, stemming from her fraudulent use of Anthony's financial resources. That's all for this video. We hope you have found this video informative and interesting. What are your thoughts on this case? Let us know in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this. Thank you for watching our video.